This is from ESPN.com, Week 4 questions and takeaways. We got 3 of them. We'll run through them all together. Number 1, how can the Browns' defense regain its elite form from 2023? Cleveland's offense has failed to take off, but the defense is more concerning after being one of the best in the NFL last season. Unit couldn't assert its dominance against an offense missing Devontae Adams and allowed more than 150 yards rushing. Next part of that. Describe this game in 2 words. Another failure. After failing to take care of the struggling Giants, Browns couldn't finish the deal against a team without Adams and Max Crosby, arguably their 2 best players. Eye-popping stat. With 3 offensive line starters sidelined by injury and another, Ethan Posick, suffering an injury mid-game, Browns gave up 16 quarterback pressures. Cleveland has allowed double-digit pressures in all 4 games, and that certainly is eye-popping. Lance, we haven't really talked about the defense. That's equally as concerning because you knew the offense was going to be beat up, and they're just not tackling well enough.
Well, I'll be honest with you. To me, it's more concerning than the offense. The offense is you don't have your back, you don't have your tackles, you don't have an elite playmaker right now. You're struggling trying to find a new offense. You got a new offensive coordinator. You knew that was going to struggle. They struggled during training camp, watching it every day. Defensively, they got to go back to the basics, right? So they got to go back to tackling and getting lined up. Too many times in the run game this week, you saw obviously missing tackles. The other thing I saw today was they're getting out of their gaps. They're not very gap sound right now. So what that means is guys are getting pushed left and right or backwards, and then linebackers aren't able to make plays. So for the first time, you saw those defensive tackles not really penetrating as much as they have in the past. Then you move outside and you see some guys giving up some routes underneath. I think the Browns need to go back to their identity of being in more press coverage, put Ward on the best player, light it up, see what you can do, go back to what you do best, and that's pressure, penetrate, be minimal so these guys can play fast. But yes, the defense is very concerning. It starts with tackling, and it goes, and then it's and then it ends up with the alignments and the things that you can control. Right, those are things you can control, and that's what they got to work on this week.
Yeah, and we've talked about the pressures. We'll have in a couple segments. We'll have the blitz film breakdown video analysis. But the pressures are something that's killing this offense too. I mean, more than double-digit pressures in all 4 games.
Well, and you look at Deshaun Watson, and once again, there's a classic quarterback stat that no one talks about. He's getting hit 15 to 20 times a game. That is going to do something to your psyche. Now, I understand he's a pro, and people have said he's gotten paid $230 million. It doesn't matter to me. He's getting absolutely killed right now, and he has to do his part, and he has to find the open guy. But more importantly, they have to protect better, and they have to run the ball better. And football is still a team game. The defense has got to hold up, got to make extra points. You got to cover on kicks. This is all kind of amplified when you're losing. And right now the Browns are losing, so everything is questioned, like you said. I just think they got to go back to basics. They got to go back to maybe doing some 7-man protections. They got to go back to getting rid of the ball quick like they did in the first series. There's answers to these things. They got to go out and get it done. Now you got to prove to everybody that you're a good football team, and they are a good football team. They're a good football team that's playing very poor right now, and they're going to have to fix it quickly.